The clash between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford just took place, and this is how the boxing world reacted to the fight.
113 for the winner on unanimous decision, the Fighting Pride of Omaha.
Basically cut his show down. Basically just cut that shit off.
Nobody give a fuck. No. Hey, I just asked one thing. Like 16 months that you were, taking care of family and everything. Did that help you prepare for big fights like this? Definitely.
Been training since February.
Absolutely. All right. That's all I want to do. Congrats, yo. Can I ask you something? What's up, Jeff? You want to sign a contract with Canelo? Let's go.
Well, the first 3 rounds, I felt like I was in control. I think he was trying to figure me out. He was a little frustrated in there, but that's part of the game. To be honest, when I set my sights on doing something and I know what I'm capable of, it's not like a surprise to me. It's a surprise to y'all because y'all didn't believe me. But for me, I knew I could do it, and I believed that I could do it. I just needed the opportunity.
Yeah. 3-time undisputed. Mm-hmm. He just beat Canelo.
Yeah.
The face of boxing. So now you can say Bud is the face of boxing.
Greatest of all time, or?
Greatest of all time.
Yeah.
I don't feel like it can never be one great, but he definitely one of the greatest of all time for sure.
Congratulations, I'm proud of you. You look spectacular.
Spectacular for
Thanks,
round
Floyd.
one.
I always.
Hey, you see me wink at you?
That's it.
I pulled one of your moves.
I think the camera.
I see you, champ.
Upset of a lifetime? Nah, it wasn't an upset. The people that really know boxing knew that it was a good fight. Yeah. It depended on what kind of fight that Bud fought. And he fought the fight that he needed to fight to win. Is that how you expect it to go?
You want to see a rematch, Devin, or you think it was pretty clean?
No, honestly, I know it's a lot of money in the rematch, but I want Bud to retire. He accomplished everything in boxing already. He made a lot of money. He should just go spend time with his family and have some fun.
Terence Crawford just proved me wrong, proved a lot of people wrong, and cements himself as one of the all-time greats, S-tier, top tier. Gets to, as my man Sam Gordon just texted me from San Francisco Chronicle, gets to sit at any table. And coming into this fight, I had Crawford #1 pound for pound back in 2017. I always acknowledged him as the best counterpuncher in the game, one of the great counterpunchers. But I didn't see him as Sugar Ray Leonard, Floyd Mayweather, Muhammad Ali, Sugar Ray Robinson. I didn't see him as that. I saw him as the tier of greats right below that. Oscar, Shane, Mike McCallum, guys like that. And it turns out, no, he's with the best of the best.
Y'all was here?
Yeah.
It was a good fight. I'm honored to be here.
You expected that?
I'm happy to be here, bro. It was a great fight.
Is there a need for a rematch though? Canelo came on a little bit late, but
that's different. They took a long time to prepare for this great fight.
Yeah.
Let them enjoy, let them have a rest, and we'll see what's next.
Beautiful performance from Terence Crawford.
Beautiful performance, tremendous night for boxing.
Yeah.
And he had a game plan, he performed, and he deserves all the recognition.
Yeah. What would you like to see next from him?
To have a nice vacation and enjoy the moment.
Yeah.
Let him rest. He deserves all the time to really enjoy what he has just accomplished.
You know, I wanted to see a good fight, man, and I think that's what the world saw tonight. I would love to see another one.
So you want to see them running back?
Yeah, that or Boots.
Yeah, Boots Ennis. Where does this put Crawford in the all-time greatest, man?
Definitely cracked the top 10, and he's closer to top 5. But I think he's got some more work to do. That was incredible.
Yeah. What about Canelo, man? Where's he at?
Still amazing. Still one of the greatest fighters of our time, man. A lot of respect for both these guys to get in there and give the fans what they wanted to see, man, which was a great fight.
Science of the sport. This guy adapts. I knew it.
How did you know he was going to win? Why?
He's got too much ammunition. You know, southpaw, orthodox, on the back foot. That's what changes good from great is knowing how to adapt. You know, back foot, front foot, that's the difference.
Offered to retire, you want to continue?
You guys push that back a little bit.
Hey, he's doing well. It's been good. Hey, what a performance.
Canelo came out, as he always does, starts well, lots of feints. I thought Canelo, was feigning more and had better positioning early. But once Crawford, here's where the fight really swung to Crawford. It was a competitive first 3 rounds, nip and tuck. Crawford a little more accurate, but in the start of the 4th round, Crawford opened up and really had a dominant first minute. And Canelo was persistent in the last 2 minutes, and then that started to be a little bit of a pattern, and I wondered if Crawford would get jobbed on the scorecards, because then he started making the habit of starting the first minute beautifully. He did that in the 4th, either the 6th or the 7th, definitely the 7th. He did it in the 7th. I think he did it in the 4th, 6th, 7th, and 9th. And then he would take his foot off the gas, and I'm like, okay, now you're giving a reason for the judges to find a way to rob you for the bigger name fighter in Canelo. But then in 10, 11, I mean, the fight was really over in the 11th. He stood in the phone booth with Canelo, took some of those looping, old school Triple G type looping right hands over the top, those anchor shots, and he ate him no problem.
Like the sugar ray limits and everything. He should be in another stratosphere with what he's accomplished here tonight. So his legacy just grows.
Were you surprised it was so one-sided?
No. Well, you got 2 champions. And 2 different styles. And obviously, Crawford was a little quicker.
Hell of a jump, man. I'm happy for him. Super excited for him, man.
Yeah.
Shit was a hell of a night for us. The speed, really.
Yeah.
I think it was the main factor. Canelo couldn't really keep up with him. He was too fast. His feet, footwork was too good. I feel like Bud damn near basically went every round. So but yeah, that's about right. You can say that. Yeah. 3-time undisputed. He just beat Canelo.
Yeah.
The face of boxing. So now you can say Bud is the face of boxing.
Greatest of all time, or?
Greatest of all time.
Yeah.
I don't feel like it can never be one great, but he definitely one of the greatest of all time for sure.
What happens to Canelo after this? It don't matter. He's made a big statement for not only Mexico or the pride of Mexico, but for all Latinos right there. So he's done a great job for himself, man. Nevertheless, Crawford is on his way, continuing to create greatness. I know boxing. I just know stylistically. I've been in the gym with. I've shared the ring with Canelo, and then I see that. So the punching, the output that he was giving Canelo definitely gave him the win.
I want to apologize on behalf of Terence Crawford. He just messed up your bag, man.
I know, bro.
He messed up your bag. What's up?
You say that, though. You say that, but listen, God's got a greater plan, innit? God's got a greater plan, and it'd even be an honour to share the ring with him.
Do you think Crawford will start the weight, or should start the weight?
I reckon he will stay it, because he looked good at it. He looked strong at it.
Did he seem hurt in there at all?
Nah, not at all, man. He was eating them punches, bro. I was shocked, but he's a GOAT.
Easy work for Crawford. Easy work. Crawford is special, and he did it. It was a great fight. It was a great fight. Canelo really was trying, couldn't get to him. He looked a bit frustrated, but it was a great fight all around. Both guys looked good.
Crawford an all-time great, Lennox.
Crawford was great.
Easy work. He almost got the 11-round stoppage.
Yeah.
I told y'all he is a monster.
Yeah.
Listen, man, Canelo's a good fighter, man.
Yeah.
But he made the fight look normal, guys.
Yeah.
He made it look normal. Canelo left out of face with his cherry red face.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, Bud didn't have a mark on him. There's nobody that's ever done what Bud just done to Canelo. Alvarez. Come on, man.
He stepped a little more to Canelo than Floyd, right?
Nobody's ever hit Canelo like that before, ever.
Yeah.
Nobody.
Check this out, guys. Floyd Money Mayweather just shared on social media that he bet $50,000 on Crawford to win, and he won $75,000 back. So Crawford made Mayweather $74,000. Most people that I talked to were betting on Canelo. A few people bet on Crawford.
Before the fight, Keith Thurman raised the notion that Alvarez was no longer the untouchable figure many believed him to be. He reminded audiences that every fighter, no matter how great, could be figured out in time. He had wondered aloud whether Canelo still carried the same bite, pointing to his recent inability to close out opponents with the kind of frightening power he once wielded. Thurman's doubts seemed prophetic in stretches of the fight, where Alvarez's punches carried force, but not the fight-ending devastation of his younger years. Yet Thurman had also warned about the dangers for Crawford. Adding weight, he argued, could be a double-edged sword, giving Crawford the strength to compete physically, but risking a slowdown in the late rounds.
Opening half is him working behind the jab. If he does not work behind the jab, he is not geared for the tactical approach. And the only other approach, which is the Hail Mary, is that you hurt the gorilla neck boy. You know, this is freaking gorilla exercise.
Don't rely on that.
He's hard to hurt, man. He's hard to hurt.
Don't rely on hurting Canelo. I think
that's what I'm saying. Triple G didn't drop him. All these fighters been hitting him.
Take a page from Bivol and Mayweather. What they do, they fought behind the jab. They kept their distance. They've used the entire ring, and that's something that he can bring to the table. Use that distance from
Bivol
both
backed him up.
But the funny thing is, with the extra body weight, is he agile?
Yeah.
Is the footwork going to be able to move, still use the ring, and as those later rounds, round 7,
that's what I said to you last week, 14 pounds matters.
9, 10, as the pressure continues. The other thing too is Canelo lost a little bit of his bite. He hasn't been tremendously, devastating and taking people out. So that helps, that re-establishes the fight and is in Bud Crawford's favor there.
George Kambosos Jr. forecasted a tactical plan from Crawford, expecting him to force Alvarez into the uncomfortable role of chasing. He believed Canelo's struggles against William Skull, where the Mexican found it difficult to cut off the ring, hinted at vulnerabilities that Crawford could exploit. At times, this vision materialized as Crawford circled and picked spots while Alvarez plotted, looking a half step behind. But Kambosos had also warned that Alvarez had a habit of elevating his game when the lights burned brightest.
Both guys have such dynamic, boxing attributes. And like I said, Canelo has to press Crawford. He has to be able to use his size, bully him, and able to land them shots that are going to hurt him and put him in 2 frames of mind. Now, Crawford, on the other hand, as much as the size difference doesn't really look like there is a size difference, there is a difference in the weight they've been fighting at. And like I said, Canelo's been fighting as high as a light heavyweight. Crawford, in his last fight, did go up to junior middleweight against Madrimov. He did seem to struggle a little bit with a guy at a higher weight. So now you're moving up to super middleweight, will have some effect. But again, it is the biggest fight of his life, biggest fight of Canelo's life, and you're gonna truly think that they're gonna be prepared for anything. But The big thing is, will Crawford be able to dictate the fight against a guy like Canelo Alvarez, who's the bigger man, the guy's going to be pushing the pressure. You know, we saw the way he dictated and hurt Errol Spence.
Few understood that danger better than John Ryder, who had endured 12 punishing rounds with Alvarez and left the ring with a broken nose, courtesy of just one punch. Before the fight, Ryder had framed this matchup as a 50-50 affair. He respected Crawford's versatility, the switching stances, the sharp hand speed, the ability to fight both inside and outside, but he also emphasized that Canelo's power and methodical style of downloading information before launching his full attack could not be overlooked. The fight itself unfolded with those dynamics in plain view. Crawford's adaptability against Canelo's patient hunting.
You faced Canelo. If you could give some pointers to Crawford, what should he do to come out victorious in September?
I think you just got to watch the Bivol blueprint, the in and out. I mean, a lot of fighters getting stick now for being runners, Tom and Jerry and whatnot. But stick to what you're good at. Terence Crawford is an exceptional talent. He's won titles through the weights, undisputed at, what was it, 3 weights now. And listen, if anyone can do it, it's him. I think the weight will be too much of an issue. Canelo is a special talent. And I think the weight will play a factor in the fight. But listen, Canelo once done it and made the step up to super middleweight. I would like Crawford to be more at light middle and middle to build into it, but you take these opportunities when they come, and that's what greatness is.
Roy Jones Jr. was strikingly confident in his belief that Crawford would rise to the challenge. Jones had lived through the experience of moving up and conquering bigger men, and he saw a reflection of his own path in Crawford's. He believed Crawford had prepared his body to the point where the size difference would not be decisive. In his view, Alvarez's route to victory was narrow, while Crawford possessed multiple paths to success. His remarks on Canelo's motivation also echoed in the fight's aftermath. There were moments when Alvarez appeared flat, unable to summon that extra burst of fire, while Crawford remained sharp and creative.
Fight the absolute correct fight that he can fight, the only correct fight that he can fight. He does have a chance, and I think he could be victorious. If he doesn't fight the one way that he can only fight to win it, Terence Crawford has 6 ways he can win it. And my money will go on the man who has 6 ways to win it over the man who has 1 way of winning.
So you think Canelo has to kind of fight the perfect fight, right?
If he don't, he in trouble. If he does, he should be all good.
Stephen A. Smith predicted that Crawford would win on points, seeing in him a fighter too quick, too clever, and too versatile for Alvarez to handle cleanly. He argued beforehand that Alvarez had grown predictable, too reliant on single power shots instead of blending combinations. Those very criticisms surfaced during the fight, as Canelo at times seemed to wait too long, banking on one big blow while Crawford peppered him with varied offense.
You got a love for boxing.
Yes,
Who gonna win the fight, man? That's coming up, the biggest
Crawford.
fight in boxing.
Crawford.
Huh?
Crawford. I'm not hesitating. Crawford. I'm not even hesitating. Crawford.
You gonna stand on that all the way to September 13th?
I love Canelo. Crawford will beat Canelo. Crawford will beat Canelo by decision. I can't see anybody knocking out Canelo Alvarez. But I do believe that if you can box and you can move, that you can beat Canelo. You can outpoint him.
That's right.
When I think about Canelo, one of the things that I don't like about Canelo, despite his greatness, and a neck as wide as Broadway for crying out loud.
Right.
It's like almost every shot has to be a power shot.
It's a power shot, yeah.
That's not beating Crawford. I will confess, I think Gervonta Davis's trainer, Cal, I think he said this. He said Crawford could find himself in trouble if he decides to engage with Canelo, because Canelo is the naturally bigger, stronger fighter. And I don't care that Crawford's gotten bigger, and I don't care that Crawford's gonna go in there just as big as Canelo. Canelo is accustomed to fighting at the weight, and Crawford is not. And Canelo is a genius in this regard. You don't see him show up for fights not ready. He's always ready.
Always prepared.
He's always ready. He's
always
prepared. So I think he's the slower fighter, though. And I think that Crawford is brilliant as a boxer. And I think that between switching to conventional and southpaw, using his jab and movement, I think that Crawford is going to outpoint Canelo because he's faster.
Sebastian Fundora leaned the other way, confident in Alvarez's pedigree at super middleweight. He reasoned that Canelo had unified the division, lived at that weight, and beaten everyone put in front of him while Crawford was venturing into uncharted waters. His view held merit in moments when Alvarez's punches visibly shook Crawford, the size difference asserting itself in thudding fashion.
What about Ennis? He's the new addition to 154. He's yet to fight there. Canelo brought him in camp specifically because he's a switch hitter like Terence Crawford. What do you make of Ennis just not being in your division and then him contributing to Canelo's camp leading into this fight? Is that a good move?
I think it's good for Canelo's camp to have a fighter like Ennis. Because, yeah, he likes to switch right-handed, southpaw. I think Canelo probably didn't need that. But, you know, the fact that Ennis went might cause a little bit of drama. I think he did for a dramatic effect. But, you know, great fighter at 147, but 154 is a different division. They have me in there, so we'll see what he can do.
Andy Lee called it a razor-thin chess game, one that could be swayed by the smallest of details. He highlighted Crawford's track record of moving up without losing effectiveness and Alvarez's mastery of subtle ring control. His anticipation that the fight would hinge on margins proved accurate. There were no wide gaps, no dominant runs, just exchanges where a moment of brilliance tilted the round one way or another.
On the same night as that, over in Las Vegas, Canelo Alvarez takes on Terence Crawford. What are your thoughts on that sort of super fight, I guess you could say?
Yeah, what a fight. Very hard to pick a winner, isn't it? Very hard to pick a winner because, like every good fight, you know, no one really knows the skill and competitiveness and ring craft of Crawford, or, you know, then you can say the same things about Canelo, but just he has that size. And but I see Crawford in New York when Hamza fought Berlanga, and he doesn't look too small anymore. He's filled out a lot. He looked quite big. It's a great fight. I think they're equally matched in skill, and it's going to be one of the best fights. It's going to, like, when you see how skillful both fighters are, the tricks they have, and how they fight. It should be one of the best fights of the last, I don't know how many years. You know, it should be up there with the best fights we can remember.
Max Kellerman leaned toward Crawford, pointing not to tactics, but to time. He had emphasized that Alvarez, despite being only in his mid-30s, had carried the wear of a career spanning nearly 2 decades at the highest level. Crawford, by comparison, had remained fresher, still hungry, still sharp, and still compiling elite wins.
But, like, where would you rank this fight out of your top 3 to 5 of all the boxing fights you've called, you've experienced, you've watched? Just the
in terms of the magnitude of the
magnitude,
fight?
Yeah.
I mean, of the fights that I've called ringside, it might turn out to be number 1. I've done Pacquiao fights, I've done Mayweather fights, I've done Anthony Joshua against Klitschko. Those are big fights, but this will, listen, because of Netflix, this will be the most watched fight, championship fight, in almost 50 years. This is going to be because Muhammad Ali fought Leon Spinks in the rematch in '78, and they did 90 million TV sets. 90 million. And since then, what has even come close? The biggest fights have all been on pay-per-view, and they do 2 million buys. Oh my God, 4 million buys, Mayweather Pacquiao. As I keep saying, if 5 people per TV set watch, that's 20 million people. This is going to do multiples of that. So, so when you look at it from like a commercial point of view, it'll easily be the biggest boxing event I've ever covered.
Andy Ruiz took a measured stance, acknowledging Canelo's power as something no opponent could afford to ignore, but noting that Alvarez had not always been comfortable with southpaws. Since Crawford could seamlessly switch into that stance, Ruiz saw it as a potential factor.
Well, all I know is that if you were in a Canelo Crawford card, that card would be a million times. It's still an amazing card, but you would have added a lot. Who wins, Canelo or Crawford?
I think it's gonna be a good fight, man. I'm going for Canelo, of course. You know, he's the Mexican warrior as well. But Crawford, man, you can't neglect him or you can't underestimate him as well. You know, he has a lot of skills, a lot of movement. He's a lefty as well. That's what Canelo has trouble with. I think it's gonna be an amazing fight, man. I just can't wait, and the best man wins.
Edgar Berlanga, who had felt Alvarez's punishing shots firsthand, surprised some by backing Crawford. He believed that unlike other opponents who entered the ring confident but eventually broke under Alvarez's pressure, Crawford had the intelligence and adaptability to stand firm.
You know, we'll just all know that, hey, you know, he just jumped up 2 weight classes to be great. You know what I'm saying? It's not, he can't really, he's testing himself. He's putting himself, testing himself a great fighter. So, and I don't doubt him, you know, I don't got no doubt in my mind. You know, he's a 2-time undisputed world champion for a reason. So, you know, and I don't think none's gonna phase him in that fight. You know what I'm saying? Maybe the power, maybe the size, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, Canelo, he's not knocking Canelo out. So, he just gotta go in there, just IQ.
Would you lean towards Canelo still in that fight?
I got faith in him. I think Crawford could do it. You know what I'm saying? I think he could do it. Just like I said, just the size. The only shit that throws the fight off is the size, and you know, obviously the power, and Canelo's IQ too, because Canelo got IQ. You know what I'm saying? And Canelo fought a lot much bigger guys. You know, so I know the Crawford's power ain't gonna phase him. I know Crawford's size ain't gonna phase him either. You know what I'm saying? So, but for me, I think it's a 50-50 fight.
Tim Bradley spoke about Crawford's almost photographic memory in the ring, his ability to recall every detail and make immediate adjustments. That quality was visible throughout the contest. Crawford studied, absorbed, and then countered, refusing to fall into repeating mistakes. Bradley had argued that such adaptability could be decisive, and many who watched the fight unfold believed it had been exactly that.
Yeah, man, I was thinking, man, like, a lot of people is making a fuss about Crawford being out of the ring for over a year, you know. I'm not putting too much stock into that, man. I'm not really, you know. Floyd Mayweather's came back from after a year. Shoot, I remember John Jones, 3 years out of the game, you know. And I know it's a different sport, but it's still combat sports. 3 years out of the game, came back, faced the champion, beat him, beat the champion, you know. You know, Crawford took the time to really build his body up, man, the way he needed to build it up. And I like his build because just looking at pictures and stuff like that, man, he put a lot of the weight on his legs. You know, that's going to help with stability. That's going to help with punching power. It's going to help with his ability to be able to take a shot, too. You know, he get razzled and dazzled in there from one of them big shots with Canelo. You know, he going to have some stability. He going to have a base to be able to keep himself up. Crawford has been working for this for the last year. He's been building. If you know anything about Team Crawford, man, and just anything about Crawford in general, he's probably one of the most disciplined athletes in the entire world. You know, he's a guy that stays in the gym year round, you know, never dull. You know, another guy Boots stays in the gym quite a bit too. He does. You know, I hear that from everybody. He's always in the gym. Crawford's the same way. He's a gym rat. Stays in the gym, always constantly doing something, you know, sharpening his tools, you know, working on his craft all the time, keeping a good weight. You know, Crawford in between camps, you know, he'll probably go up about 20-something pounds, you know, but it don't look bad on him. You know, it doesn't look bad on him. You know, when I had ran into him earlier, before this fight even was announced, you know, I would ask him, I'm like, how much you weigh? About 175. Not crazy, you know, not crazy. Nah, but he still looked good. It was a 175 in shape. It was a 175 in shape. Like, this dude can go run up and down the court, play basketball, you know. He can go out there and play football if he wanted to go play football, you know. Like, he's an athlete, a natural athlete, man.
So how did you react to this fight? Do let us know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like and subscribe for more boxing content like this.